Welcome to Indian News. Our guest today is Preetesh Shrivastava. Preetesh, welcome to our studio.
Thank you, Pedraji.
We are looking forward to honoring you as a community catalyst on New LearnQuest Awards Gala
Thank you so much.
on November 15th, and for what you have done, how you have connected all these different communities of India here in Greater Boston, in the New Land. But before we talk about that and talk about your journey, let us start with one of your favorite person, who is also last name is Shrivastava.
Oh,
Can you guess that person?
Gee, though he doesn't write Shrivastava, but is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan.
You got A plus for that. I was sure that you will not know this, but I'm glad you know this. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So let's start with Amitabh Bachchan. You also have your car number plate as well with what is the Bachchan or Sholay? Sholay, right? Sholay, yes. Yeah. So how did you get so fascinated by Sholay and Bachchan?
I think since my childhood, I always loved theater, and through theater, always kind of loved acting and that whole atmosphere. I think Bachchan Sahab is a very different thing. It's not just a theater guy. I think it's a larger than life kind of personality for many of us.
Since you named your car after Sholay, I have to ask you, what is so fascinating in Sholay and Amitabh Bachchan in that?
I'm just a big fan, huge fan, and I think many of us are a big fan of Amitabh Bachchan. Sholay I watched I don't know how many times, and it's a gift from my wife actually that played because she knew that I would love it. Bachchan Sahab we love for many reasons, but I'll tell you something actually which is probably many people don't think about his life and his personality. I think what I learned from him that you can be extremely successful, and then you see failure and how to deal with that. Because what happened that there are why Bachchan Sahab is still Bachchan Sahab, because there are many superstars happened in our industry. And when they started seeing that, they're not getting enough roles or their movies are flopping and then they cannot do the romance on screen and whatnot, I think they could not actually take it that positively. Of course, all of them are great. I'm not naming anyone. But what happened when Bachchan Sahab started seeing failure in his movies and movies started flopping, although think about a superstar seeing actually that people have started not giving him work, he did not give up. He tried different routes, and then people saw that no, he's working hard, and they started making movie according to his age.
Mm-hmm.
There are many movies, if you see in late 90s or early 2000, started coming according to Bachchan Sahab, Major Sahab.
One of my favorite movie of Bachchan is Amitabh Sahab is Chini Kam.
Yes.
Again, since you mentioned the age, what a wonderful role he plays.
Exactly.
So that Sholay and Amitabh Bachchan introduces you to theater. You get more interested in theater. And when you come to when did you come to Boston? Which year was that?
I came to Boston in 2004.
2004. You start Hindi Manch, and then you create a lot of theaters and drama and workshops. And that's how you get into linking various different type of communities together. Although you founded Hindi Manch, which was very focused on Hindi and North Indian languages, but your work has been involved with various other communities. So with your networking with the different communities, tell us that how these different communities in New England from India have grown up and what draws them together.
Right. So first of all, I started Hindi much later. I was working with IGB and LearnQuest and many organizations I'm still associated with. I think Hindi Manch I started because I felt that there is a Hindi part missing and every organization is doing their job, right? Marathi, Bengali, Kannada, or UIA or ISW, which is a area specific organization. And I think they're all...
No, sorry. Which year did you start Hindi Manch?
2009.
2000, okay.
2009 I started. It's 15th year for Hindi Manch. So again, going back to your question that how these organizations are working together and how it's this whole community is working together, I think they all have their different missions. And ultimate mission is to somehow preserve our culture. If we are talking about the cultural organization, our culture, our Indian values, and they're doing it through different channels, right? Like for example, someone doing through language, someone doing through Diwali function, someone doing through music, someone is teaching kids music, someone Shishu Bharati is teaching kids languages and all. So I think if you see, ultimately the goal is same for most of these organizations. We are here far away from our country. We love our culture. We love our language. We love our values. We miss all those things. Like it's a Durga Puja time. People who grew up in Calcutta or probably all over the India, they would look for a place where they can go for Durga Puja if they're moving to Boston. If Ganpati time, they look for the place actually. So all these organizations are connecting people who are here to their roots, to their values, to their culture. So the goal is same.
Now, can you also talk about some, lately we have seen phenomenal growth of various local regional organizations in the New England area. Tell us about that. What is your understanding and observation has been?
So when you say local regional organization, is the region
like for example, you have the Bengali groups, we have the Tamil Sangam, we have the Malayali group. All these organizations, because there is enough population from that region, and the language, local culture, food, everybody is bringing together, and there is a great growth.
Absolutely.
So, what has been your how they organize these organizations? Actually, in many cases, these organizations have become much more powerful and much bigger than cross-cultural type of organization from India here.
Right. I think I would categorize most of these community organizations into three different categories, right? One is the region which you pick from India. Let's say Kashmiri organization, let's say Kerala organization, Nima, let's say Tamil Sangam. Some of them are language-based organization, right? Gurjar. So that is one part, which is like they are connecting people from the same region from India. Now the second category is like local regions here. India Society of Worcester, India Association of New Hampshire, India Association of Merrimack Valley, Burlington Association, Lexington Association, right? So it's a horizontal, vertical both working. Third category is very different, which is like working on a big mission, like IGL, like LearnQuest, like Shishu Bharati. So I think when people from Burlington want to have a Garba in Burlington, so Burlington organization was organized the Diwali function actually, so that this is area specific. And when people want to kind of say, hey, I want to celebrate Pongal, they'll find actually which organization doing that, and doesn't matter which area they are from, they'll go there and they'll join that.
Some of the organizations you have worked here in Greater Boston.
Oh, I work with many.
Okay.
I work with many. I'm basically, I anyway love seeing different culture. So even today I'm going like close to 5 places, and then all are different organizations. Some of the organization I work like more deeply, like for example, IHGB, I worked for many years. LearnQuest, I've been working. I love music. I started learning from Pradeep ji, and I was part of Speak Mackay back in India as well. So classical music is organizing those events I really like. Hindi Manch, as you know already. Then with many organizations, the way I worked to organize one or other of their programs, right? UIA or maybe Saheli, I'll go and I'll do the pledge drive, or with ECAL, I would run some programs for them. So many organizations. You go from New Hampshire to Worcester, or you go from Newton side to other side actually. So all regional organizations here, or the probably regional organization based on India regions, actually I work with most of them.
So now we are honoring you with a Community Catalyst Award, and we know who is a Community Catalyst, and you have played a wonderful role in that area. For you, who is a Community Catalyst?
For me, actually, again, I would go for the same thing that first of all, we need to realize why community catalyst,
Hmm.
why community should come together, right? And the answer to that is because together only we can achieve that goal. Why we are running our own small organization? We are trying to really build that India here. Let's say if it is Indian organization or a musical organization. So you need to really expand that. Then only we'll find that India here. So again, community catalyst for me is who really do not just see his own or her own language or own culture or own festivals or whatever they know. India is a big country and we are proud of that. So I think community catalyst is to really go beyond that and try to connect all these beautiful culture, beautiful missions who are ultimately working for the same goal.
And that's the one thing where I disagree with many of our the Indian patriarchs here too. I think it's very healthy that each group, each language, they have their own ambience. As long as beyond that they go and connect with each other.
Right.
And that's what exactly India is.
Right.
That you go tiny
Right.
little cultures, states, languages.
Absolutely.
And the same thing is happening because population has really grown.
Absolutely.
And at the end, we want to talk in the same language. We want to eat the same food. We want to have the similar festivals and
Right. And I think once we understand why we are doing it, it's very easy to find out. Like, so long back, I created, I think now you're talking about different organizations, Preetesh, you work with, I think almost 15 years back, even before Hindi Manch, I created a video when I moved to this, I think in 2005-06, when I just moved to Boston. And I was trying to find out what different organizations are here. And I created a video of close to 52 different organizations. I just reached out to their presidents or secretaries or whatever. I said, can you give me some pictures of your organization? Can you talk about something? And I think it's a 10-12 minutes long video. And that time I created that. So that's the passion. And I think many of those did not know about each other. And then they started to getting to know each other and they started helping each other. And it's very easy. For example, Hindi Manch does plays, Marathi Mandal does plays, Kannada Koota does plays, Setu does plays. A lot of people, organizations do. Now, Kannada Koota wanted to do a play for which they needed some kind of set, which we already had. So we just gave it to them. UIA wanted a backdrop, and we used that backdrop in some shiny backdrop in our Saregama. We spent like $1,000 on that. They said, "Can we borrow it?" I said, "Of course." And then we borrowed it. So if you see, there are a lot of practical ways to really help each other.
So excellent. Now let's come back to Preetesh Shrivastava. Okay. So you come here in 2004.
Yes.
And then you start a Hindi Manch in 2008 and then 2009. And then you come up with these very different type of plays and, kids program, Bal Bihars, International Hindi Festival, or I don't know what you call, Munch, something.
So we did two. One, we did Rashtriya Hindi Mahotsav, which was national for all over USA. And during COVID time, we did international because it was not difficult to connect to the all over world through Zoom. And there was a lot of need for that. People were getting,
So talk about some of the other, like, Saregama and all those things. How did you do that and what is happening with those programs now?
So Hindi Manch in a nutshell, actually, when we started that we should learn about this language and people should stay connected with the language and through language culture. So we started reading some of the books in libraries 15 years back. And after 2 or 3 months, I realized that yes, there are 30-40 people who would like to do that, but it will not expand because it's a very niche interest. So how to really connect a common person to this language or a kid to this language? So we used a method which called entertainment. So we started creating these entertaining programs. So the very first one we did Saregamapa. Now everything we do, we have one thing in our mind that it should not be about only 4 or 5 people performing. right? Or 4 or 5 people working backstage, right? It's not for small. How to really give opportunities to more and more people on stage or off stage, or maybe somewhere else, but let's connect people. So Saregamapa idea was to like do the music competition. So a lot of people will come for auditions. Then you have semi-final, then you have finale. And people had that question that, but finale only 3 people, 4 people will sing. No, we created opportunities for everyone who came for audition in a creative way. We gave them group song, and then we started creating a smaller programs for those. So through Saregamapa, a lot of singers actually joined. Then we thought another way for entertainment, which is theatre. Many people love it. So theatre was our second department. We did Ballapur ki Roop Katha and some other plays. A lot of people started showing interest in then acting off stage, on stage. A lot of things happened. Then we started, of course, the kids were always in our mind. But Hindi Manch always believed in the principle that let's not just teach our kids Hindi. First, you need to be in touch with Hindi. First, you need to talk in Hindi. First, you need to have books in Hindi in your house. Then only you can tell your kids that, hey, you should be also knowing Hindi. So, but still, like kids are a priority. So we started Baliva Munch department. What this does that we create few programs in a year, but the bigger one we do is once in a year where close to 150 kids are performing on stage. They create their small plays or probably some kind of act or songs, and they come and they perform together. It's absolutely lovely program. If you see how these kids put an effort and do that, it's heartwarming for everyone.
Actually, I have attended some of your Saregama where even the adults have also participated there, and
that is true because our Saregama, as I said, right, Hindi Manch focuses 75 to 80% on adults. Because our theory is that if adults really know Hindi or do that or talk in Hindi, the kids will automatically learn it.
And through that program, you were also able to bring some top singers from India.
Top singers from India, yes.
Who were some of them?
So we got Suresh Watkarji. We got Kavita Krishnamurthy. These are the two big ones. But again, for the various reasons, we got for theatre, we interviewed Preetesh Shrivastava. We got Deepti Navalji here for the National Convention.
I remember Deepti Naval.
Yes. She was here. Jugalan Straji was here. Some renowned poets were here. Preetesh Shrivastava from India.
So now your role in theatre, and I love your comedy. So let's start there. Where did you get inspiration, and how did you learn about comedy?
So I anyway like I would say I by nature I like funny things, jokes, sense of humor, and all that kind of stuff. Right? If anybody knows me personally, they'll always associate me with that kind of guy. Stage has been my anyway love because not only it's in my family also. My father actually taught me how to perform on stage, not theatre, actually speeches. We used to do that debate competition in schools and all that. So I've been always, running for those competitions, winning those competitions. So I don't know, first time when I was on stage, I was probably just 3-4 years old. I recited a poem and I got an award for that. So I think it's just like my dad, my family, it's just like you need to go on stage, you need to perform.
And what is the background of your father?
He is, so he worked as a bank employee. But as I said, the social community leadership is kind of in family. So my father also, he was the president, or he ran a Khaist organization in Bhopal. And even now, actually, in 15 years back, he started running this laughter club. And he learned laughter, yoga and all, and then he's running that. So I think it's been there, right? We find opportunity to somehow bring community.
So when you do comedy, how do you prepare yourself? And where are the best places you go for your comedy ideas?
So comedy, what happened that stage performance has always been there with me, right? I would go and introduce a song in some of the program, Mohanji's program, if we talk.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes, yeah.
And then talk for Hindi Manch or do some kind of poetry and introduce this and that. But then what happened, I think, when I do that thing, people like it. when I talk about serious stuff, then I realize that if I'm cracking one or two jokes here, and some of them or many of them are impromptu, I just come to my mind and do something on stage, and people started liking that a lot. So I never thought that I do stand-up comedy. Yes, in my introduction, like for example, if you ask me that this is a program, you need to introduce this song, I probably find it sometime a serious way, but sometime a funny way to introduce that song. And then I got encouraged that you should focus on comedy also. And that's where I did my first stand-up comedy show in 2014. It's called Comedy Bindas Preetesh Shrivastava. That's the first time. If you ask me, before that I was not preparing for comedy. I would think about something, go on stage and perform. But this is the first time I actually wrote close to 1.5 to 2 hour of comedy segment for my own stand-up comedy.
And then you also, at the same time, I think I remember now, you launched Preetesh Entertainment.
Yes, it's still there.
Okay.
It's so why I launched that, because Hindi Manch is a non-profit organization. I'm president for that, and I just did not want to use Hindi Manch platform for my own stand-up comedy. It doesn't look nice. That, as I said, Hindi Manch is about connecting people. So just me doing stand-up comedy. So that's the only reason I formed another entity, and that's where I did.
So now moving beyond theater, you also wrote a couple of books, right? Or one book?
Two.
Okay. Tell us about them.
So they are also theater, actually. Both the books are kind of plays. One is Mirchi Kola. Second one recently I published. It's called Begani Shadi Mein. I think the purpose of writing, both of them are comedy plays, actually. And the purpose of writing that was because again, I wanted to give opportunity to more people to perform. So I was looking for a play which is more current, comedy, funny, and has many characters. And it was very difficult to find those kind of plays. So I think Mirchi Kola I wrote keeping in mind that, it will give like opportunity to 15, 16 performers, almost equal opportunity to all of them. And the other thing is that theater is not easy art. And many of people here, they are not professional theater artists. So the purpose of writing those plays in a way that even, let's say, if someone doesn't know anything about theater, of course we teach, they learn, but even if they say the lines correctly going on stage, at least like people will get it and they laugh, because the play is written in such a way.
Actually, I have watched some of the plays, and the actors are really fantastic. They do such a great job. Almost the professional quality. Whether. And the acting has been absolutely fantastic.
Right. We do work hard, actually. Every Saturday, this time, 14 December is our next play, Begani Shadi Mein, the retreat show. But we are working every Saturday for 4 to 5 hours in whatever we have learned. I was very lucky. Actually, I grew up in Bhopal. So Bhopal is one of the theater hubs of India. So got very lucky. Thank God, touch wood, learned from many, many good gurus and artists actually out there. So
this is head, right?
Yeah.
That's not wood, right?
No, thank God, touch.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. So in the context of comedy, so the joke was that you said touch wood and you touched your head.
Okay.
So I said that's not wood, that is head. So Preetesh, also you have amazing following in the community. You have a lot of people want to work with you either through Hindi Manch or LearnQuest Academy or any other organizations, and you have also a lot of devoted volunteers. So, what is the secret of attracting these type of people for any non-profit organization or community service?
That's a very good question. I don't have following. I don't know if I have following, but I know that I work with a lot of people, a lot of volunteers. I think I'm a very good friend. So most of these people, and they want to work with me, or they are volunteers, or they follow. They really know that I'm a very good friend to them. So I'm always there for them. I truly believe that I can learn from each and every one of them. I really, this is my philosophy of life. Whenever I see someone, I try to find what I can learn from that person. And I think everyone has something that I don't know and I can learn from them. So I really, truly respect people. And people say, maybe you're saying this is a part of leadership. No, this is my real true philosophy. So they can see that respect in me for them. So that's second part. But I think it's a very good question that how to attract volunteers, because many organizations might be struggling for that. I think we really need to find that what they want from the organization. Sometimes what happens that we try to give them work that, hey, you want to join my organization? Can you do this for me or can you do that for me? Which is great. They can do because they probably like your mission. But I think once we understand that what they are looking for and we give them specific things what they are looking for, right? And I think that is kind of has been working well.
Okay. Now, as we come closer to the interview, let us talk about Preetesh Shrivastava.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Preetesh Shrivastava was born in Bhopal.
Yes.
Now come back to where did you study, what happened, how your life evolved from there.
So I pretty much studied in Bhopal most of the time. Few schools out there. And then I joined my engineering college also in Bhopal.
So did you high school, intermediate?
Yes.
From Bhopal?
Throughout Bhopal, actually. So, I can talk about that. So my first school was Kenyan Convent. Then second school was Jan Digambar School. Third school, I went to Model Higher Secondary School. So these three schools all situated in Bhopal. And then after that, I joined my engineering, which is in REC Bhopal, Engineering College Bhopal. Used to call MSCT that time. Now it's MNIT, one of the top engineering colleges of our time. Still, it is one of the best. I joined actually Gammon India NTPC job for a short while after my engineering, but then I joined MTech back for further studies. And then I got a job with Infosys. It was a shift actually that time. What was happening that these big software companies and MNCs started giving a lot of good perks and salaries and opportunities to engineers that time if you are in a good colleges with good ranks and all. So I think that shift happened. So I joined Infosys in 2000. So 24 years with the same company. And I joined in Pune and I worked there for close to 1.5 to 2 years. And then I came to US. So 2003, early 2000, January 2003. I was here.
And tell us, and you had a love marriage, I hear.
Yes, sir.
So where that happened?
Love happened in heart.
Okay.
Marriage happened in my college because she was my batchmate. Engineering college, REC.
So you're in the same class.
Same class. Yes. And then her father was the dean of my college. And I was always in leadership. So I always say that my wife says that it is a dean and don, both the people she knew actually during the college. So I met with her almost very first day of college, and I think pretty much within a couple of weeks we knew that we like each other. Proposing took a little time. It was not easy. I have my whole stand-up comedy actually on my wedding because it's a very different culture. We are from...
Actually, I do remember seeing that.
Yes.
I remember I went to one of your shows.
Yes.
And you were talking about your marriage.
Yes.
How the confusion North Indian and South Indian.
We are very North Indian family. She's very South Indian family. So, and then, I always say that the wedding goes for 5 days non-stop because in our culture, the wedding happens in night, like Bharat comes in nights and etc. etc. By the time we would finish, they wake up because everything happens in morning.
So what language she speaks?
Kannada.
And you founded Hindi Manch.
Yes.
So are you thinking about founding a Kannada Manch as well? I'm just kidding.
I'm lifetime member of New England Kannada Koota.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Yeah,
if someone asks me what family I'm, I said I'm a Kannada family.
Oh, that's a great compliment to your wife.
Yeah.
And
her Hindi is better than me actually.
Really? Oh, good.
Her mother grew up in Banaras and Lucknow, and they are great in Hindi.
And there is no dispute on language at home, at household?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have a son?
Yes.
Just one child? Or
just one.
Just one child.
Yes.
What language he speaks at home?
He speaks American English.
American English. Any Kannada or Hindi at home, or he understands?
So I teach kids Hindi. That is another thing that I do. I've been doing it since many years. I created a program called Masti Ki Pathshala. It's a different style of teaching Hindi. So my son, I created this class just because of I wanted my son to learn. So yes, he can read Hindi, he can write Hindi, he can speak Hindi, he can understand Hindi. But when you say what he does, he typically likes to talk in English actually. Because of course they prove that their mother tongue, if you, in a way, if you see like that. And he does understand Kannada as well, not that much, because me and Pratibha both speak in Hindi most of the time.
So we started our conversation with Sholay and Amitabh Bachchan, and let us end with that. So I have some questions for you about Sholay.
Sure.
Let's start with Hema Malini. Which role did you like of her the best in Sholay? Which part?
Which part of Hema Malini I like? I think the very first one, when she won't stop talking.
Okay.
The Basanti one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she established her character within first minute.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great actress quality, right? Like you see this within first minute, you know that what's going on.
And Dharmendra?
Dharmendra is the kind of core of Sholay, Jaan of Sholay, because he actually is the hero. So many scenes I really like for Dharmendra. I think the one when he's on Tanki,
right, drunk, yes,
his solo performance is going on. Nobody else, like literally he alone is getting all the, people love that. So
I like the part where he's teaching how to shoot to Hema Malini.
That is true, but why I picked this one, because that scene has three characters. Dharmendra, Hema Malini, and actually the fun part came from Amitabh Bachchan.
Sure.
Because he keep on shooting mangoes, and he said, "Abhi seekh raha hai."
Yeah. Okay, now let's come to Amitabh Bachchan.
Yeah.
In that Sholay movie.
So I think I have many other more favorite movies from Amitabh Bachchan. Because Sholay is kind of a much larger movie, and has many other great characters in that. So when you say what I loved about Amitabh Bachchan, and of course that Mossy scene is fantastic, but his character was not that, right? His character was more serious, and also he was very wise person. He knew that Thiru is like always funky guy, and then if you see that the toss thing, he always so people don't realize, but he was running the show throughout the movie. He was doing, should we go there or not? Oh, heads, let's go. Tell no. So he was the one who was thinking masterminding everything actually.
And Asrani?
Asrani has this 10 minutes thing, and there's two characters which in theater, whenever someone comes to me and they get their role, and I always give these two examples. So many times, one is Asrani and one is Jagdeep in that movie, that a true artist can do a 10 minutes role or 5 minutes role in a 3 hour long or 2 hour long thing and probably steal the show. So Asrani, he's a great actor, and he performed as main characters also in many movies, but in just 10 minutes in this movie, he came and then who won't, if you see Asrani, most of the people say Angrezon ke zamane ke. That's the first thing.
Now, I have to ask about Sanjeev Kumar and Jaya Bhaduri as well.
Right. So Sanjeev Kumar, in my opinion, was one of the greatest artists of that time. If you see how many people can act just by face, right? He was always like that with the shawl, but so many emotions you can see on his face every time you see him actually. So there's no particular scene, but of course he's just one of the greatest actors.
And Jaya Bhaduri in that movie, Sholay.
Jaya Bhaduri ji has very small in terms of versatility, but if you remember the holy scene, because really the director wanted to shock people that from where to what she became. So if you see, that is between Sanjeev Kumar and Jaya Bhaduri scene when he went to her house actually during the festival, and she kept on running behind the tanga and throwing colors actually, and she was like Basanti.
Sure.
Right, and from there to the transition happened to this widow actually. So yeah.
And the last for the best Gabbar.
Gabbar Singh.
Gabbar Singh, yes.
Yes. Amjad Khan Saab's debut movie.
What a role character.
Yeah, absolutely. He comes from a very, very a family where a lot of people are into acting, and he was well trained to do that role. I don't know, many artists or in Bollywood who would like, or it's difficult to find artists in Bollywood who just from the very first scene they become most famous. So Gabbar Singh is not even, you're not looking at his face actually, his voice and the shoes. That is the entry of Gabbar Singh. Kitne aadmi the, and still it's considered one of the most watched scene. So that's the brilliance of.
So you still have the Sholay in your car plate?
I do.
Preetesh, you have founded Hindi Manch, community catalyst, written books, played in theater, comedy shows. How many aspects are there to Preetesh Shrivastava?
All right. I'm still exploring.
Okay.
I'm still trying to find who I am. And I think we've been talking about theater and movie. I tell you, actually, I think I answered this question from stage also one day, and I'll just repeat the same thing. So there are two characters in Bollywood that they impressed me a lot when I was a kid, actually. And both happen to be from the same director and same person played, actually. So one is Anand character, Rishikesh Mukherjee's movie.
The movie Anand.
Movie Anand. Anand, yes, movie. And the second movie is Bawarchi. Both are from Rishida, and actually, coincidentally, Rajesh Khanna played both the roles. What I learned from Anand that you can connect with anyone. This guy came from Delhi. He knew actually that he had less time, but he came to a completely new place, and within few weeks, he had like 7-8 people who loved him as closest and dearest friend. If you watch that movie, I'm not going to get into the detail, but I really got impressed. I said, you can be friend with anyone if you're nice to people. And he had this principle that everybody has something to give to him in terms of, some kind of training, teaching, learning. So that's my favorite, one of the favorite characters. The other one is from Bawarchi. This guy Raghu. It's a complicated, it's an interesting movie, but this character's goal was to keep learning new things. And his theory is that jitna seekhoge, more you learn, more you become happy. So I think this is what I have been doing. I did TV shows also, reality shows, anchor. I did DJ also. I learned Hindustani classical music also. I tried to learn tabla as well. I cook. If people, many of my friends find cooking is my best quality. And I'm not just talking about me when you say, who is Preetesh Shrivastava? I really like to learn new things. And once I learn them, it literally give me happiness. And somehow with those things, if I can, use those skills and qualities to connect with people, that becomes like 1 + 1.
So I think that's a perfect ingredient for a community catalyst. No wonder you have been such a successful person, really in connecting people. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Bilal.
And we'll see you on November 15th.
Thank you.